All right, let's get started. Okay, now my daughter is on the first floor. She is just in the bathroom of the first floor, and she's just waiting for herself to go out to do some exercise. Which is walking for about 35 minutes or so. This is her everyday routine. This is her daily routine, and this is my daily routine as well. This is my routine of speaking English. The main purpose of this practice is that I'll get used to speaking English itself in the first place. But I think that good news is I'm getting used to this practice. In other words, I'm getting used to speaking English and listening to myself speaking English. And although I often found it pretty daunting to listen to myself speaking English. However, did I start the sentence using although? All right, and then now I'm beginning to find more and more enjoyable listening to myself speaking English. It doesn't mean that I can do as much as I wish. In fact, for example, yesterday, when I was recording my voice to my iPhone, my voice memo, I was feeling distressed so much. As I was speaking English, I already began to feel so stressed out. I was so stressed out as I was speaking. And I didn't want to listen to it at all. I didn't want to listen to it at all. And I did, actually. In fact, as a matter of fact, I listened to myself speaking English in that voice memo. As usual, I did edit it since it was just a voice file. In order to upload it to YouTube, I had to make it a video. In order to make the voice memo or voice file a video using software, in my case, editing app in my iPad. Okay, I first send the voice file, I don't know, whatever it is called. It's in my voice memo, right? And I had to send it, move it to one of my files in I don't know how to explain it. In my iCloud. There is a file in my iCloud, and I have to move it there so that I can download it to my app to edit. And I did. And then what did I do? I add the background because the application cannot make a video only with the sound file. I add the background and I added the file including which has my voice I had recorded. And then and yesterday's voice, how long did it last? I forgot. Let's see. If it is 30-minute file, are you okay? Again, my smaller dog is on my lap and he's coughing and I wonder what happens to him. Okay, and no. I'll stop explaining it because it's a bit confusing. Okay. And anyway, ever since I started practicing speaking, could you please get off from my lap? I feel now more relaxed. Ever since I started practicing speaking, I think I'm getting more and more used to this practice now. I'd rather enjoy it myself, and I even feel excited about this because without any preparation, and it's totally improvising. I'm improvising this, and I don't know what to come out myself. So I just played by ear. And I'm quite excited about this myself. And this awkward moment, I can even enjoy this awkward moment because I just let it go. I just let the words go. I just let the words come out. And this is the real purpose of this practice. And this is what this practice is all about. So I don't worry about anything, but I make myself free. I set my free and speak whatever I want. It is better for me to make this practice more practical, more educational, more efficient, and any other words. More practical, efficient, more effective, more educational, enlightening, and more meaningful, more whatever. But for a while, at the moment, I really want to focus on just enjoying speaking English, because this is something that I hadn't done for such a long time. And I feel that even though I can't speak English as much as I do my Japanese, my mother tongue, which is my mother tongue, still I'm beginning to feel that English is becoming my second nature, because compared to my Spanish, I have been a Spanish beginner learner, though I can express myself in English much better than my Spanish. This is something amazing. This is something that I find it fun and very enjoyable, and same adjectives all over and over again. Although I've been building up my vocabulary, it's still most of them I've been working on. Most of the vocabulary I've been working on are still the majority of vocabulary I've been working on boosting are just passive words for me. My passive words in order to make them not passive but active, so that I can use them in my conversation. I have to use them while speaking, right? This is another meaning of this practice, because I try to use them whenever I come up with them, because this is practice. And sometimes I make mistakes. I use them wrongly, incorrectly, but it isn't a big deal. That doesn't matter if I can't use them incorrectly, because every time I finish recording my voice or I videotape myself, I review. I make it a review. I make it a look back. I make it a rule to look it back. Look it back or review. I don't know how to use this word, review. Review something or review or something. I'm not sure. But every time I get stuck, every time I use words incorrectly, every time I struggle to come up with certain words and expressions, and even every time I don't know how to say certain things, while listening to my speaking or my recording, I check them. I look them up in the dictionary, in online dictionary, as I listen to. While listening to it, I also look such words, unknown expressions, something that I was not sure of. And this is a good opportunity for me to get to know more words and expressions to be used correctly. And this is something that I hadn't done at all until about 20 days ago. It was only 20 days ago, but I felt like it feels like such a long time ago, meaning that ever since I started this practice. Is he okay? Are you okay? Sounds like you are trying to throw up. No, you are not throwing up. Okay, it makes me feel relieved at least. But okay. Where was I? It's totally okay if I get lost while speaking, because this is a practice. I don't care about such a small thing. And where was I? Yes, until just 20 days ago, I've been studying English pretty hard since May this year. It's been about more than nearly 3 months. And I was studying for the test, step test first grade, which first round of which is in 2 months. And if I want to apply for it, I only have 1 month left to apply. And I thought that I was going to apply for it, but now I'm not sure about it, because this is not the main objective of my endeavor this time around. The main objective is to improve my English level to a certain level, to a certain place, to certain place. And I believe that studying English for a test is very useful, because it can be your goal, your motivation. It's helpful for your motivation. And until May this year, for the last, until May this year, for 2 or 3 months until May this year, all I did was just listening to English as much as possible. That's all. Are you okay? You're coughing. You tend to be sick. Are you pretending that you are sick? He's very smart. He's a very smart dog. And I wonder if he just pretends to be sick, because that way he will be taken better care of, right? You're smart. I really hope that you're just pretending. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Until May this year, all I did was just keep listening to English every day, all day, because every time I try to talk about this, he coughs, right? Are you okay? He doesn't seem to be sick though. Okay, you will be alright. You are a very smart dog. Okay, and all I did was listen to English, because that's part of the method I've been trying to, I don't know. Are you okay? Do you have anything? Don't you have anything in your throat or something? All I did was listening, because that's what the method told us to do. It is called language acquisition, and they said that it's okay for you to keep listening as much as possible. Then your speaking ability will improve too. And since I didn't want to practice speaking because it's kind of troublesome, I used to enjoy trying to improve my speaking by talking a lot, speaking to myself, talking to people, and taking part in a community where I had someone to talk to in English. I was more enthusiastic about these things. But these days, somehow, until recently, until 20 days ago, I felt that it was something that happened to me a long time ago, and I even didn't know if I could improve my speaking skills, because for me then speaking was not as fun as it used to be. And I was not confident at all just until 20 days ago. And just after I started this practice for actually many days, just until recently, just until several days ago, I wasn't confident at all if I could improve my speaking. Even now, I'm struggling to come up with words. I'm struggling to find the best words as quickly as I wish. But still, practice makes perfect, and unless I practice a lot, now I'm sure that I cannot move on to the next level. And the more I speak, I'm sure the better my speaking ability will become. So that's why I'm not whining about anything. Are you okay? I'm not whining about anything anymore. All I wanted to do is to be positive and to believe in myself and to believe that practice makes perfect. But I have to make sure of one thing, which is it takes time. It does take time. So I have to be patient. Could you step off? I have to be patient, but just keep going, keep practicing. And now I find this practice more and more interesting, more enjoyable than before. And that's how I feel about my practice now. And I don't know how long it'll take. And yes, I remember where I was. Yes, passing the test. I mean, if I want to take this test this time, which is in 2 months, I mean, the first round of tests is in 2 months, and I was thinking of taking this test, and I was studying hard to pass this test, but my goal is not here anymore. My goal is somewhere else, even farther than passing this test, because passing this test itself doesn't mean anything to me. Even without this test, I'm confident that I'll keep going, I'll keep studying, I'll keep practicing, because passing this test is not my main goal, final goal. And there's lots of people who aim to study only to pass this test, because step test first grade is a very laudable test, not test, but laudable qualification. And so many people admire this test. So many people admire people who pass this test. And this test is actually notorious as well, infamous, because some people say, or most people regard this test as something extremely difficult. And I found it that way. I also found this test very difficult. I was finding this test very difficult. That is why to study English extremely hard to pass this test helps me improve my English ability all the level, not only reading and vocabulary, but also writing, speaking, and listening, everything. And I realized that after studying for this test, more and more I realized that this test is well done. Well, I don't know how to say it. This is a very good test, and I recommend people study English if they really want to improve their English. It's easy or not easy, but it's the best way for them to study for the step test. Well balanced, well done, and well organized. This test is well organized, well done, managed. Is there any word? Well managed? I don't know, but this is very good test. If you study English to prepare for this test, you can improve your overall ability, English ability, in the best way. I strongly recommend people study English for this test because you can improve all your English levels, abilities evenly. Is it okay? Good balance. I don't know how to use this word, but the more I study for this test, the more I did textbooks or workbooks or something like that for this test. The workbook for this test, particularly the workbook made exclusively for this test. The more I did such textbooks, the more I realized that this is a fantastic test. This is a very good test. This is excellent test, marvelous. And I also wonder why more people or majority of people would only care about their TOEIC score. Yeah, TOEIC score is important for your promotion if you are working for a company. Yeah, I understand that. It's a good test for your English certification, qualification, and whatsoever. But that test is not as well organized as, as well organized as the step test, I guess. And even some people scoff at the first grade step test because they say it's unnecessarily difficult, unrealistically difficult. But the more I study for the first grade step test, particularly, and I felt that way before. I used to feel that way before, but now I realize that They are totally wrong, because as I started studying for the first grade step test or step test first grade, which some people regard as something unreasonably difficult or stupid, even they call it stupid, because they say that where would you use such difficult and esoteric and erudite, is it okay? Erudite English. Where would you use such esoteric, erudite English? But English. I don't know how to say it. Words and expressions. You have to learn. You have to memorize. You have to study. You have to remember. If you want to pass the step test first grade, they're everywhere. The more I study for this test, the better I have been able to listen to English spoken by native speakers on YouTube. People who are intellectual, intelligent, academic, and they are noble. And it makes me feel so rewarded, and it makes me feel happy is a benign word, right? Banal, boring. My vocabulary is not good. Not as good as I wish it would be, though. Well, I know it's getting better and better as I do. It's just it's a matter of time and practice. And I'm just doing this for the last few months, but I already began to feel the difference, big difference. And I can't wait to see what is coming in the future. I can't wait to see it. The more you do, the brighter your future will be, and it's for sure. And it can be said to some other subjects. Like, it can be said about music, it can be said about sports, it can be said about studying, it can be said about, anything, right? The more you do, the better you can bet at, and the brighter your future will be, because the more things you can do, right? And the easier things will get. And how interesting it is. I no longer can stop studying, because it's not something that I have to do, I must do, or I force myself to do. I have to force myself to do. No, there is no motivation. Motivation or whatsoever is not necessary here, because I want to do it. I just want to do it because it's fun, because it makes me grow. And there is nothing more interesting than this. I'll never find studying English hard or troublesome or painstaking or any other synonyms. The more adjective or synonyms, antonyms I can use, the more colorful my English can become, and I'm just looking forward to it. That's why I've been working on it. Voluntarily, is it okay? Can I use voluntarily in this context? I'm not sure, but it's not that I'm waiting to do it. No. It's more than that. It's more, I'm enthusiastic about it. I'm eager to do it. I can't resist my urge to study, to learn more about, learn the vocabulary more. And one of the books I'm using at the moment, it is written by this author named Ichi, and he's English expert, English education expert, and he has written so many books. Oh my goodness, my daughter has come back, and so I have to finish this by now. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow too. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.